Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to walk you through my journey of trying to use a Pixel tablet with the speaker dock as like my all-in-one home smart home management tablet replacement. Long story short, it's not a tablet replacement. iPads are a lot better even when they're cheaper than this tablet. The unique form factor of being able to put the tablet on a speaker dock and have it live in your kitchen is perfect. The software is where it really lets me down. So let's get into the details of what I mean. I've been using the Pixel tablet in conjunction with an M4 $1,000 iPad Pro and an old 7th gen $200 iPad. And this device with the speaker dock is $500. So you have two iPads, you have this at $500, and then you have the Google Home Hubs. So you have the small one that's usually around $100 and the large one that's usually around $230. So in this whole spectrum of devices, certainly one is going to be a great home hub. I've learned none really are. A smart speaker is almost a better bet, even though they're super annoying. And the cost of the Pixel tablet is not really worth it because the ecosystem is so underbaked. So what do I mean? Well, this is the tablet on the speaker dock. The speaker dock is magnetic, so you can take it off. It's got a speaker built in the back and it'll charge the tablet, which is great. This is really fun. It's just like a better version of the Google Home Hub, which was really exciting to me. The tablet itself, I think, is really well built. I actually like the white bezels. The screen is pretty good. The speakers, there's 4 of them. They don't sound particularly great, but they do get very loud. And then the back is this nice kind of textured ceramic metal back. And one thing I actually really do like is on the bottom, there are these 2 rubber feet. So when you prop the tablet up against something, like when it's off the dock, you don't need a case for it to stand up because you can just prop it up against the wall and those rubber feet create enough traction that you don't have to worry about it sliding. So in terms of like hardware, this is great hardware. I think the tablet having a widescreen format is actually kind of a detractor because when it's in this layout, it's great. But when you move it vertically, it's a really awkward tablet. Books are weird, websites are weird, you don't have enough space on the screen. Even watching videos isn't that much of an upgrade because even on a more square iPad, the black borders aren't that thick to begin with. And then you actually lose some of the other content, like in an app like YouTube, where you would see the description or the like button or other comments or other related videos. The hardware is great. The place where it really lets me down is the software because the software is just half-baked. Google Home as an app is half-baked and it is in a couple of really key ways. On one hand, you are able to connect to like any smart home device ever, which is amazing. And you can control them all individually and you really don't have to worry about much compatibility. On the other hand, there's just some smart home basics that the Home app doesn't have. And that is the core of what the Pixel tablet is built around. There's a shortcut on the lock screen and the app is built into the tablet. And a core thing you just cannot do that you can do in like Apple Home, for example, is create scenes. I have devices from all different types of manufacturers. I have light bulbs and light strips from a bunch of different companies. And right now, the only way I can create a smart scene to like create a dinner lighting mood for the house is to create a routine where I have to go through every single device and adjust every single one and all these settings for each one for every routine. It is so time consuming and it is so not worth it. I barely got through even doing 2 scenes before I just gave up. It is not meant for the smart home power user. And honestly, with Google's track record and Google's graveyard, I don't think that they're going to support Google Home to the level that they need to and for the longevity that I would hope that they would because they've bought things like Nest and killed things like Nest. So in general, if you're looking to invest in a smart home, I don't know if I would go the Google Home route unless you're fine with really simple things and sticking with one manufacturer like Philips Hue, where you can make a bunch of lighting scenes in that. The other part of having a home hub is being able to have multiple accounts. And that is something that this tablet actually does really well. It has a fingerprint reader right at the top in the power button. And on that fingerprint reader, the second that you touch it, it will switch over to your user account, which is amazing. Having this in the center of the home and having multiple users have access to it is super simple. And it's something I wish Apple would do, but they probably never will because it won't make them money. On the flip side, the actual tablet ecosystem on Android is just not that great. Google has done as much as they can with customizing the interface and making it tablet friendly, but then most app developers haven't done the same. And it's because there's just not many Android tablets that I think are a huge part of the market and it doesn't really, people aren't gonna like develop an Android tablet when nobody's going to use it. I think this is something that Google could spearhead and they are, but more in the folding phone, like Pixel folding phone universe. And a folding phone app and a tablet app have a lot in common, so maybe this will get a lot better in the future. But for now, iPads are just so much further ahead in app support and accessory support and just diversity of an ecosystem that if you're gonna spend $500 on a tablet, I would much rather spend $500 on an iPad that I leave in the kitchen, or that I get cheaper iPads and just buy two of them than get one product that's basically a Google Home Hub that you can just take the screen off of the speaker. And then this kind of brings me around to my third point, which is Google's transition into AI and the just complete domination of Gemini to Google. Gemini is the branding name for all of their different AI models that can do a lot of different things. And it seems like the Google Assistant, which is how you interact with Google Home, is dying off slowly, which is the way that most things happen at Google. In terms of long-term support for Google Assistant, I think that is out the door. And then Gemini right now is free. It will most likely be paid in the future. And while it is a really cool set of models that can do a lot of very interesting things, at the end of the day, I just want to be able to turn off and on my lights and adjust things in my home in as few words or actions as possible, which Google has gotten worse and worse and worse at doing. If you look at any form on any website, people will talk about how the Google Assistant and Google Smart Home hubs, like the speakers, like the Nest Mini speaker and the hubs in the kitchen, like with screens, they've all seemed to have gotten worse over time because connections to apps and services have degraded or haven't been updated. And Google hasn't really brought a lot of new interesting features to the Assistant. They've actually removed features. So if anything, that makes me more nervous for the future of investing in a smart home platform there. I'm just at this really weird spot where I love this hardware, I love this idea, but the actual ecosystem behind the hardware is not there, and Google does not have the track record of bringing it up to speed. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Apple has a great track record with software. They have less of a great track record with interesting, unique ideas and hardware. So the smart home space is just in a really weird in-between right now. Honestly, this makes me want to make like an app for iPad that could function as a better smart home hub and kind of replace like what Pixel Tablet has done for me, because it just doesn't do enough. And all of its awkward shortcomings, I don't think are really acceptable when you're paying so much for the device. So this was my journey for the last month, trying to put the Pixel Tablet and Google Home in the center of my smart home and just make everything work. I've realized that it is a much better home hub than a iPad tablet, but Apple Home and just iPads in general is a better experience for home management and for tablets. So if I'm going to spend any money, I would rather just spend it on cheap old iPads or one nice one that I can also use in a bunch of different ways. It's been a year since this tablet came out. I hope that this video was helpful for somebody because you are probably looking at this device just like I was. It was a really fun experiment, and if anything, it just makes me realize we really need a much better player in the smart home space because this stuff is so complicated, and I'm a big tech enthusiast, and it's even hard for me. I'm in the middle of changing out a lot of my different lights and scenes right now, and it takes so much time and effort. Once I've done it, it's amazing and it's super useful, but I don't know if the amount of effort required is something that most people are going to put into a system that one day becomes really useful. So that's my video for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.